everyone, and welcome to today's session with me, your host, Deborah Luila. And today we will be discussing about work and residential permits. Joining me today is Queen Kimambo, who is an associate from Auditax International. Queen, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Deborah.
It's really nice to meet you today.
Me too.
Queen, who will be answering a lot of questions that many of us tend to have with regards to the questions of work and residence permits here in Tanzania. And to kick this off, I would like to know, what are the procedures for obtaining work and residence permits in Tanzania?
Thank you very much, Deborah. So I will start with a little introduction on how to obtain work and residence permit in Tanzania. So Tanzania employment and immigration laws requires a person who is a non-resident who wishes to engage in Tanzania to have work and residence permit. So for work permit is obtained from the Labor Commissioner at the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Youth Development, whereby the resident permit is obtained from a Ministry of Home Affairs through the Immigration Department. So this application have to start before the person coming into Tanzania. Now we have various types of our classes of work permits. We have work permits class A. This is provided to those investors or self-employed. We have also class B, which is provided to prescribed professions, including expertise in oil and gas. We also have teachers or lecturers of universities who teach science and mathematics subjects. We also have medical doctors and healthcare. That is for class B. Class C is provided to those other professions which are not prescribed in class B. We also have class D. Class D is provided to registered charitable and religious activities. In class E, it is provided now to refugees. But our discussion today will focus much on class A, which is provided to investors and self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we'll move to the procedures on how to obtain a work permit class A. So the procedures to obtain a work permit, I'll start with the work permit. So there is an application form in an immigration portal where the applicant have to fill all the information about that particular person. So thereafter, you have to download that form together with generation of control number to facilitate payment. So the next things are the attachments to be attached with the application. Right now, the system is only for generation of that form and the control number for payment. So I think after they will upgrade the system so as to also to upload the attachments online. But currently, we submit other documents manually. So the first is the form. Then the second is the justification letter. Then you will need to have a business license. Then you will have to have a valid passport. Then you will need to have a certificate from TIC, is Tanzania Investment Center, where applicable. Maybe if the activity that is intended to be carried out need a certificate from Tanzania Investment Center. Also, we need to have a memorandum of the company. We also need to have a business license. We also need to have a tax identification number, TIN number. We also have to have value-added tax certificates. We also need to have a proof of payment that you need to pay for the application. We also need to have proof of registration with NSSF and WCF registration. Also, you need to have a status of the shareholders. Yeah, so all these attachments have to be attached with a form from the online application through immigration portal. Then these documents have to be submitted to the immigration.
So as far as the application goes, for the Class A, which we're going to be focusing on, how much are the fees for this application?
Thank you. The fee is only 1,000 USD for Class A.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is for international residents who plan on moving into Tanzania for work and residence.
Yes.
Okay. And how long does it take to obtain a work permit in Tanzania on average?
It is 7 to 14 days but this is maximum days that can be taken. But if the documents have been submitted quickly and as required, that no more corrections will be made, can take even earlier than that, but maximum 14 days.
I've heard of several people who've had challenges obtaining their residential permits when coming into Tanzania. What are the challenges that people who are coming into Tanzania or expecting to move into Tanzania can expect when it comes to obtaining these permits?
Mostly the challenges are if a person submits half of the documents that are needed, you know, like we have to start now from the online application. Somebody can skip that part and only submit all the physical documents without the form. So once you get there, you must be taken back to start the application from online. Also to start the application and get it halfway. So you also have to go back and retrieve all the information you made before. So it can take a lot of time to finish.
Having learned about work permits and residence permits, what is the actual difference between these two?
Okay, thank you. The only difference is you firstly have to apply for work permit, then you apply for residence permit. Because during application of residence permit, one of the attachments to be attached is a work permit. So once you get a work permit, it's where then you can come for application of residence permit.
Wow, that is interesting. Moving on from that point, we'll be going to our next session, which is trying to review registration of a company or a branch. As we have seen earlier, the Queen has been able to share the procedures that have to be followed in order to obtain a work permit and in order to obtain a residential permit. Things which are really important if a company or a person is planning to open a company or a branch here in Tanzania. And so we'll be moving on to the registration of a company or a branch, starting with a question that is asking what type of entities can be registered or formed by investors coming in Tanzania.
Thank you very much. Entities which can be registered in Tanzania, we have various of entities, including you can register as a foreign company. In other words, is where you register as a branch. That a company is incorporated in another country, but we wish to have a branch in Tanzania. So you register as a foreign, but it appears as a branch in Tanzania. So you can register also as a company limited by share. We had a registration of registered as a company limited by guarantee, but it is now ceased with the registrar. It's now moving to registration as NGO. Okay, you can also register as a public company limited by share. You can also register as a private and limited company. Yeah.
Okay. I see there's a lot of options that actually organizations and companies can take when it comes to registering their companies and branches here in Tanzania. And what are the procedures required for this particular type of registration? Are they a little bit different from the ones that we saw earlier, or are they somehow along the same lines?
Yeah, previously we used to register manually, but now it's been tried to move to a system, online system. So if you want to register a company, you need to create an account on electronic service. It's called e-service. You create accounts. So once you have an account in online registration system, it's called ORS system. It's when you can start the registration process. So the first procedure is we have a form in the online system. It's called Consolidated form. It's now incorporate all the information about the company in one paper, and this information include the prospecting company name, also the company TIN number. It also contains the address of the company, of the prospecting company. It also the address of the directors, together with their tax identification number, TIN number. It also have the business activity that will be carried by the registered company. It also contains the share capital of the company, which also explains how many number of shares are being held by each shareholder of the company. It also contains a person who has the rights to make any changes on the system regarding the company. So after generating this whole form, now you can download it and review if all the information are correct. Also, they have been attached with other informations, including the memorandum, also the TIN number, the tax identification number of the company, together with the directors. Also, we have a form called Form 14B, which is available at the BRELA website, which explains much about the address of the company. So all these forms, when are ready, we have also, an integrity pledge that you are going to abide with all the laws, all the requirements of the BRELA system. Then after all these forms being signed is where you can submit now the application for processing with BRELA. So after we talked about the registration as a local company, if you wish to register as a branch, so the procedure are almost the same, but the only difference are the information now required to be filled in the consolidated form. So if you're registering as a branch, we now already have the account in ORIS, online registration system. So the first thing to do is to fill the consolidated form. So we start with the name of the branch in Tanzania, also the registered address of the company in Tanzania, the branch now in Tanzania. Also, we'll need to know the registered office of the branch in the country of origin, as well as the date of incorporation and the number of incorporation. Yeah, we also need to fill the form about the person who is authorized to receive a service on behalf of the company here in Tanzania. So after appointing that person, then we'll be done with the registration as a branch. Now we'll submit the application together with the national identification number of the person who has been authorized to receive service on behalf of the company in Tanzania. Then we'll submit the application, and for registration as a branch, that's it. So in this case, for registration as a branch, it's only 750 USD.
Wow, that's quite affordable.
Yeah.
Moving on to the time duration, how long does it usually take on average to register a company?
Okay. Maximum it's only a week, but again, if the documents are well filled, well signed as required by the BRELA system, then it can even take lesser than that. But maximum, it's a week for registration of a company in Tanzania.
Oh, that's quite encouraging.
Yeah.
And as far as the fees, how much does somebody have to cash in order to register for a company or a branch?
Okay, so the fees for registration of a company are determined by the share capital, and we have various ranges of these share capital and their fees. So for share capital from 20,000 to 1 million, it's only 95,000. So from 25 and not exceeding 1 million. And from 1 million, not exceeding 5 million, it's only 175 Tanzanian shillings. And exceeding 5 million to 20 million, it's only 260,000. And exceeding 20 million up to 50 million, it's 290,000. So exceeding 50 million, it's 440,000. So there are also these companies which register without share capital, but the number of shares is stated in the article of association. This is normally 300,000.
And that is in form of dollars, or is it shillings?
Tanzanian shillings.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was quite an interesting interview with Queen here from Auditax International. I hope you, our listeners, have been able to get a lot of insights on the subject of registration of a company or a branch, but also issues of how to attain residential permits and work permits here in Tanzania. Once again, I would like to welcome you to another session that we'll be holding in the future. You were with me, Deborah Luila. Thank you so much, Queen, for joining us. I hope to see you some other time. It was a real interesting encounter meeting you here today. Thank you.
Thank you too, Deborah.
Thank you
very
so much.